Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi coming at you with another video and working on a new sound. I think I might, I'm going to play it through this one. Y'all tell me. I'm going to play this at different volumes, right? Because I prefer making my own background music. And I want y'all to tell me if this is too loud for you or not. Okay? And I'm talking mainly to my longtime listeners because there's people that come on people's channel just to throw shade. Okay. Speaking of throwing shade, um, one of the things that caused me to make this particular video right here is that I'm on Facebook and you got a lot of Smurfs, single mom reformed females, that are trying to shame Afro men into dating and or marrying them as they become older women. And when I say older, I mean like much older. And so a conversation was started when somebody posted how they're going out with a 55-year-old that's already raised a son. They had no prior relationship to them. And the dude is only going out with the woman because, well, all he named was body parts. And so I start thinking, what is the worth of all of this for the Afro men, that the women can wear themselves out and still expect us to not only want them, but still think that they could shame us into being with them. And then we'll get to this. There was a female that I thought was a sister that asked me to join her group, which I did, and then she made me an admin. For some strange reason, she thought she ruled over me. All right? And basically, I try to see right or wrong, good or bad. And she was saying some off the wall stuff, and I checked her, and I didn't know that I was in one of her groups or one of the pages that she made on Facebook. Then, as things start to transpire, I start to understand pretty much who the people are that are banning me and flagging me on Facebook and flagging my channels down. And I unwittingly allowed myself to be an admin on their thing simply because I was asked. So when I have access to my groups again, I'm eliminating all the groups with Smurfs or BAWs in it that I'm a part of. I don't want no part of. I'm moving clearly away. We'll get to her in a minute. But first, let me greet everybody. Havort na hardu gudag. Ola oi to the bang, passes los. Bonjour, mes amis. Kedabawani konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama. Sani bonani. Jumbo habarigani. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. All right. Let me remind everybody, let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. All right. And pay attention to subscribing, because what we also figured out is Google and YouTube have been taking away my subscribers. They've been blocking, shadow banning my channels, all this stuff. All right. So that is what it is. If you would like to help this channel do what we do for children in the community in Brazil, my PayPal me link will be in the description box. Okay. Remember, you take care of yourself and family first. All right. So let's get at this with the quickness. All right. So here we go. This is the situation here. The situation here is that we got a post made by Ronnie Jenkins, and he's talking about this 50-year-old woman. And he's laughing because there was a guy bragging that he's talking to a 50-year-old woman. He's a much younger dude that's had a child, and he's out of the, out of the nest, and he's bragging about her body parts. That's it. She brings nothing else to the table for him. She probably takes care of him. All right. So this is how this starts, right? So let's get into this. And so a lot of females start going in. Now, a lot of these females will claim something, but you're wondering, how do they claim it if they have so much time to try to challenge men and try to force them to be with women that are worn past their prime? Probably the same women that rejected the good men on the way up and have to settle for some thirsty dude that only like them because of their body parts. Okay? And so basically, if you look at China Khan, that isn't that's even just really messed up. She says this, and this shows you, read the statement, and it shows you the state of Afro relationship in the Afro community. But it shows you something more wicked than that. All right, hold on. And this is the stuff that Afro men have been putting up with, especially for over the past 60 years. But this is the kind of rhetoric that Afro men have to put up with. And anytime we defend ourselves in such rhetoric, these women are quick to take our videos down, take our channels down, and they have the full blessing of a YouTube or Facebook. If they ask you for proof about your assertions and research that's about what's going on in the community, they'll have the proof flagged as spam. You know, when you start putting up all the documents, all the research and stuff, they'll have the research taken down as spam on Facebook. All right. And it's crazy funny, but because it seems like these women have a knack for forgetting about the history of the world since the conquest of the Romans. And we're looking at somebody that's trying to give credit to people that never really built anything on their own. I want y'all to think about this. The only thing these people, the people that she's trying to lift up, built on their own was armies that destroyed, armies that committed genocide. But all the stuff and monuments they built with the knowledge of the conquered people and used them as, the kind of servants that you don't have to pay. All right? Because your army ransacked their people, destroyed them, and they have nothing else better. All right? In the United States, the very people that built this country don't get credit by the female cohorts of the very people that built this country, not the modern day ones. And you see it in this woman's comment right here. So guys tried to check her and correct her. All right. All right. And so you go through this dialogue. And after this, she made a point to point out, if you look at the last thing, that she does not have an Afro male husband. All right. She says this about Afro men. Low hanging fruit. All right. And I pointed out what the mentality is. I pointed out what the history of the world is since the Roman and Greek invasions and stuff. And if you look at our history, people think our history, the history of the world, begins with the Roman and Greeks. The history of civilization does not begin with the Romans and the Greeks. The Greeks were learning at Alexandria or in Africa. Remember, there were more civilized societies in Africa than there were in Europe at the time. What Greek gets the credit for, what the Grecians or the Greeks get the credit for, is spreading African civilization to the rest of the European world. All right? And so everywhere else that European armies went, they've caused genocide, disease. Think about the Americas. Think about the Aztecs. Most of the indigenous and native and aboriginal people that came in contact with Caucasian people were wiped out by disease first. And then sometimes, like blankets with smallpox on it. Say like what the United States did to the Aboriginal and the Red Indians, the Black Indians and the Red Indians, so called. They used blankets with smallpox, germ warfare, and then they used the people with the knowledge to build what they've enjoyed. Think about that. And the first thing that happens is the women who identify until they don't want to identify as Afro women or black women are quick to take away all the progress that was made by Afro men in this country, give it to those who didn't deserve it, forget the real evil and wicked history of the Europeans, and then side with the Europeans, not realizing the true history of the Europeans. There are many extinct fauna, there are many extinct peoples, and the earth itself has been corrupted with nuclear war and everything else to the point that it's not healing itself. The ozone, global warming. And this is something that these people follow with CNN News, but they're quick to trash an Afro man in a minute And we are not allowed to call this out. Because like I said, the only reason the Afro men cannot build is because the so-called women that say they have our back are the ones that's destroying us, our resources, and our ability to build. And then they betray us to the wicked, the thugs, and any other community of men that will also seek to gain finances on our back. And they could do it with the help of these women. All right. Now, she goes to tell the originator of the post that she has a Caucasian husband. Right? And then if you look down here, I'm K.I. Jameson. Y'all know my Facebook, so go check it out. All right. She says, "You're one of my admins. You're being insubordinate." First of all, now I started to figure out that these are the people that's flagging my channels. These, because every time I post up a video, I post it up in all the groups that I belong to. I only belong to the groups because, well, I was asked. So when I have access, and somebody banned me on Facebook until February. They didn't ban all the stuff. They just banned me from my groups and any other group. And I think that she's one of the group of women that did this thing. And someone has been blocking my YouTube channels and flagging my videos on YouTube. See what I'm saying? They've been using fake accounts, and YouTube has been allowing these women to harass the Afro men. And in just stupid irony, YouTube allows them, the people who come to watch our videos, we don't make them watch it. They come to our channel. They physically come to our channel, look at our videos, and call our videos that we made just to be public harassment. How do you do that when you don't have to look at the video? But that's how YouTube and Google has changed the dynamic. So much so that with all this stuff coming up, if anything comes up in the future where you need the help of men by anybody on the left in the government, the guys are going to look at the treatment by YouTube, Google, these women, and everyone else, and they're going to say, nope, we're done. All right, so first it wasn't her page. So when she did that, all right, I expressed to her, all right, you don't have to worry about me on your groups anymore. And I decided that any group with Smrfs or BAW in it, I am taking myself out of. Anyone that asks me to belong to any of their little groups, I'm not going to do it. I'm examining it, and I have questions for you. Do you have any Smrfs or BAWs? Because I'm not doing that stuff. I only iron sharpen iron with men. Why? Because some of them are taking my channel down. But them groups, like that, they're going after men's channel, and that's how they know when we're putting up a video, because we share our videos with the group. We want dialogue. We want discussion. They don't want discussion. They don't want dialogue, because they know we're bringing facts, and the facts make them look bad. All right, so all these groups with this woman in it, I'm deleting, but I was going to do that anyway. There's only a few groups that I am going to keep being a part of people that ask. And one brother, he has two that he helped make in support of me. And that's Frankie. All right. I have one, REFUGETEMPLENABI Afro men, and maybe a few others, right? I'm going to go back to the original I have, and I'm going to stop being nice and accepting invitations to other groups. All right. I'm going to make sure this name, I'm going to make sure I'm separated from everything this woman have to do with. These are the agents we've been talking about. We think they're cool, then turned out that I did not recognize that I recognized she was wrong in her assertion. I checked her and corrected her on it with history, but I didn't recognize her because I don't mess around with the groups like that. I call myself being nice. Now I see her as an agent and somebody that cannot be trusted. And I'm going to make sure that when I exit from her groups, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to check for all the dudes that's in her group. Because apparently she thinks that we are her subordinates. And as you see what I wrote, oh, she got that twisted. And I told her if she was wise, she would have chosen. Now, this is how you know her life is not going well. Because if you go back and look at what she wrote, she threw away the history of the United States. She sided with the wicked history of many European countries and the genocide that they've committed to people. She sided with germ warfare. She sided with the Holocaust. She sided with the nuclear bombs. All right. And the true builders, even though we were under duress when we built our ancestors, the true builders of society, she said, would not build a thing. See what I'm saying? And everything that the former colonizers, let's be polite, everything that the colonizers get credit for building, they did not build. They built it on the backs and with the backs of people that they forced into labor without pay. And with the Afro people in the United States, it was called chattel slavery because they took all human identity from a people and made it as so they were cattle, hence the name chattel. But see, we can't talk about that. Not on YouTube. And when we tell the real truth, the real history, blocking, shadow banning, and all that kind of stuff go into effect. But at the end of the day, they got all these female artists that tried to push the Afro male into desiring nothing but people that have been the most unhealthy for us and the most wicked to us. All right. Lizzo don't speak for us. All right. And she's promoting something that Monique, Queen Latifah, Jill Scott, all of them went and say was unhealthy. All right. But then they go and they got the minds of these young simps to support what she's doing. But she's making the whole community look bad. But then again, people don't want to lose any money, so they won't call it out. All right. And so I went in on her All right. If you go back and see how long I was admin, it was only for 1 year. All right. And she's talking about men can dish it, but men, we're not dishing out anything. We're just telling the truth. All right. So here's a new truth. Dudes are getting passports going to the Philippines. Don't be surprised if I go there and come back with one of these type of women as a wife. See, that's what I'm saying. Dudes are tired. We would like to build a family. I never claimed to be any kind of pill or anything like that. I just don't take any mess. I see right, right, wrong, wrong. I believe in protecting me and everything I work for. All right. And I'm just tired of all of this thing. All right. So this woman stated getting triggered and all the rest of this stuff. And so as you see, I went in on her, but I go in with the facts. Brothers, we gotta save ourselves. It's time out for all these people trying to shame us into doing stuff and getting with people that, one, we're not really attracted to because they didn't take care of themselves. Two, they're not real. Three, they're wearing other people's hair on their head. Four, they're all tatted up, and that's not a part of our culture. All right, we're like, that's good for somebody else, but if we're not down for that, we don't have to be down for that. We've been the most accepting of everybody else, what everybody else wanted to do. All we wanted to do was be the righteous people that we thought we were supposed to be. But people kept saying, nope, you don't get to do that. And we're saying, bull, yes, we do. I'm tired of people like that China person that misrepresents history and can't stand when people correct them. But then again, if you look at her mentality, she thought she was running something. And I really am not on Facebook like that. And when I do, I'm putting up videos so that you can learn from me. Because she obviously has nothing to teach because she doesn't know anything. And if she does, then she's bold-faced lying just to trash somebody, just to try to hurt somebody. And that's basically it. She's trying to intentionally get under somebody's skin and cause pain. Think about that. Brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, not only do we not have to put up with this, all right, but this does not have to be the role model that our daughters have to look at. We don't have to take the choices that they throw before our face because they would not do this for any other group of men in the music industry. It would not fly by. And remember, Afro men are not at the top owning this mess. Pay attention. All right. So we don't have to settle for this mess because it's just that mess. Look, brothers, this is a no depolicing zone. We can get passports and leave and go to any other country where there are women. Oh, that would be all other countries except for here, where there will be women that appreciate men that travel, have some goal, or already did it, and are ready to have somebody to travel with us. With that said, I'm out.